Warriors fans are starting to get nervous, and rightfully so. The team situation is growing increasingly tense, especially with Stephen Curry's absence. The big question on everyone's mind is, will Curry return in time to prevent the Warriors from completely falling apart? In today's video, I'm going to break down another dismal performance and the implications it has on the team's future as they head into the final stretch of the season, with just 10 games left. Before I dive into the game analysis, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've recently reached a huge milestone with 10,000 subscribers, and I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you who watches, interacts, and supports this channel. A special shout-out goes to Randy Silver, who's been the driving force behind building this community over the past year. It's incredible to see what he's accomplished, and I couldn't be more proud of what we've created together. So if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that button now. Less than 30% of the people who regularly watch our videos are subscribed, so make sure you don't miss out on anything related to the Warriors, because things are getting wild. Now let's talk about the game last night, and oh boy, it was a disaster. The Warriors lost 112-86 to the Miami Heat, and honestly, the score doesn't even tell the full story. They only managed to score 16 points in the fourth quarter, which is absolutely unacceptable for a team like the Warriors. What happened out there? Was the 3-day break in Miami a bad idea? I watched the entire game, and it felt like all the Warriors did was miss shot after shot. It was a dreadful performance, to say the least. And to make matters worse, the Heat completed a season sweep over the Warriors, losing both matchups this season. Of course, the biggest storyline of the night was the continued absence of Steph Curry, who is still dealing with that nagging back injury. In watching this game, it's clear just how much Curry means to the team. The Warriors are an entirely different team without him. It's like watching a completely different system, one that just doesn't work the same way. Kerr made an interesting decision to shake things up by starting Gary Payton II, presumably to bring more energy after the embarrassing performance in Atlanta. But it didn't work. They came out flat, down by 17 points early in the first quarter, and from there, it was a downhill battle. Let's talk about the starting lineup for a second. With Curry out, Kerr had Poole running the point, Moses at shooting guard, Jimmy Butler in his usual small forward role, Payton in the 4, and Draymond Green playing center. This lineup was one of the oddest I've seen in a while, and it felt like Kerr was trying to force some energy into the team, especially after that awful showing in Atlanta. But it didn't pay off. It was another dud for the Warriors. They couldn't get anything going, and they found themselves outplayed in every aspect of the game. Then there's Jimmy Butler. Coming into this game, everyone expected him to step up in Miami. The narrative was set, Butler back in Miami, where he made a name for himself. But what did we get from him? A quiet 11 points, 0 of 2 from three-point range, and just 5 of 12 shooting overall. There's almost no impact on the game. Every time the camera cut to Jimmy, I was like, oh, he's out there. And that's because he wasn't doing anything. In fact, the first time I truly noticed him was when he was getting blocked on layup attempts, not once, but multiple times by Andrew Wiggins. Shout out to Wiggins for stepping up, but come on, Jimmy, where were you? And honestly, I'm starting to wonder if that playoff Jimmy gear is still in him. I get it, we're not in the playoffs yet, but Jimmy just doesn't seem to have that extra edge that we're used to seeing. He's trying to turn on, but he can't quite do it. He's not controlling the game like he used to. Maybe there was just too much pressure. I don't know. But it was a strange performance for someone who's been a key player in the past. As for the rest of the team, it was more of the same. The Warriors shot less than 40% from the field and a dreadful 23% from behind the arc. At one point, Poole was the only starter who had hit a three-pointer, and that came 7 minutes into the second quarter. The ball movement was non-existent, and the team only managed 20 assists. Turnovers were an issue, with 16 turnovers on the night. They did have 8 steals, which was one of the few positives, but overall, they were completely outplayed by the Heat. It wasn't just a loss, it was an embarrassing loss. Let's take a look at the individual performances. Draymond Green had an off night, going 0 for 3 from three-point range. Now, I know we don't expect Draymond to be hitting a ton of threes, but he's made some key shots in the past, and his inability to contribute offensively was glaring. He finished the game with just 2 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Not great, considering the circumstances. Peyton, too, who started in place of Curry, had a tough night too, finishing with a -21 in the plus-minus column. But honestly, all of the starters were negative in that regard. It was just an awful performance from the top to bottom. Brandon Pikey was one of the few bright spots for the Warriors. Since returning from his own back injury, he's been playing well, and he was a bright spot again last night. He hit some clutch threes and was able to drive to the basket and create for himself and others. He finished with 17 points, which was decent, but it wasn't enough to salvage the game. The bench had a bit of a weird moment, though. For a while, the bench was outscoring Miami's bench, but that wasn't saying much. When you see Pat Spencer on the floor, that's a sign the game is out of reach. Same goes for Kevin Knox, who got some of his first minutes as a Warrior. And when Trace Jackson-Davis, known for his energy, is getting minutes in the fourth quarter, you know it's a blowout. At the end of the day, the blame for this performance falls squarely on the absence of Curry. This is just a completely different team without him. The system relies so heavily on his presence, and other teams are simply daring the Warriors to make shots from the outside, and they're not hitting them. The strategy for opposing teams is clear. Force the Warriors to shoot threes when Curry isn't on the floor, and you're likely going to dominate. However, there's a silver lining. Before the game, there was an update on Curry's condition. Anthony Slater reported that Curry made a move in his workout the day before that didn't feel quite right, and the training staff determined that he wasn't ready for clearance against Miami. But the good news is that Curry is expected to be back for the Warriors game against New Orleans on Friday. That's huge. The team desperately needs him back to stop the skid. Let's be real. The Warriors should have beaten Miami even without Curry, but now, with him returning soon, they can hopefully turn things around. This 2-game stretch without Curry has been brutal, and it's making us all question what the Warriors can do if they have to survive without him for longer. There was a lot of hope after the Bucks game, where the Warriors did well even without Curry. But now, after 2 tough losses, we realize that it's just not the same without him. Looking ahead, the Warriors are hanging on to the 6th spot in the standings, with the Clippers just half a game behind. The Warriors can't afford to slip any further. The next 4 games, against New Orleans, San Antonio, Memphis, and LA, are winnable, even without Curry, but it's going to be a lot tougher if he misses more time. Let's hope the Warriors can turn things around and get back on track. The season's final stretch is going to be a wild ride. We've been spoiled by great basketball for so long, but these bumps in the road are part of the journey. The Warriors just need to figure out how to fix things quickly, and hopefully, with Curry coming back, they can get back to playing the way we know they're capable of. Now, as the Warriors look ahead to the final stretch of the season, they are in a situation where every game matters. The team is clinging to that 6th spot in the standings, with the Clippers breathing down their necks just half a game behind. This is when the pressure really starts to mount. With only 10 games left in the regular season, the Warriors need to get their act together and ensure they don't slip into the play-in tournament. The reality of a possible first-round exit is starting to feel more real by the day, and it's something no one wants to think about, especially considering the caliber of talent they have on the roster. The upcoming games are critical. The Warriors' next 4 matchups against New Orleans, San Antonio, Memphis, and LA are all winnable, even if Curry is still out for a bit. But without Curry, it's going to be tough. The New Orleans and San Antonio games should be wins regardless of who's on the floor, but if Curry isn't there to help push the team to victory, it's going to be a much harder road ahead. The Warriors have proven time and time again that they're a team that can turn it around when it matters, but they're walking a fine line now. They cannot afford to let any more games slip away. The Warriors' struggles without Curry are a clear reminder of just how much the team relies on him. The offense runs through him, and the defense shifts when he's on the floor. Every shot, every play, every decision on the court seems to be influenced by his presence. The rest of the team, especially Poole, Green, and Wiggins, have to step up and fill the gap left by Curry. They all have the potential to be great, but they need to show up consistently and take on more responsibility. Draymond, in particular, has to do more than just facilitate. He has to find a way to contribute offensively, especially when the team is struggling. And while Wiggins has been solid, he needs to channel the intensity he showed in last year's playoffs to make a bigger impact in these crucial games. There's also the question of the bench. The Warriors have relied on their depth in the past, but right now, it seems like the bench is a bit of a mixed bag. There are flashes of brilliance, like what we saw from Brandon Pikey, and a bit of energy from Trace Jackson-Davis. But it's not enough. When the starters are ineffective, the bench needs to step up and carry the load. That's the kind of teamwork the Warriors need right now if they hope to stay competitive without Curry. The bench players can't just fill in for a few minutes here and there. They have to provide consistent contributions across the board. But let's not sugarcoat it. Without Curry, this team isn't the same. They're a shadow of their usual selves. Sure, they can win some games, but it's going to take everything they've got to do so. They're going to need more from everyone, from the starters to the bench, to hold on to that sixth spot and avoid the chaos of the play-in tournament. The good news is that Curry is expected back soon, and his return could be the spark the Warriors need to reignite their season. But even with him back, the Warriors will have to fight hard to get back into form. The competition is fierce, and every game counts. As the season winds down, the Warriors have to regroup. They've been through tough times before, but this is different. The stakes are high, and there's no time to waste. The team needs to find a way to play with urgency, to focus on getting better each game, and to make sure they're ready for the playoffs, no matter what position they end up in. They've been in this situation before, where they've had to fight for their playoff lives, but this time, it feels like there's more pressure. Maybe it's because they're not the same team they were last year, or maybe it's because the competition is tougher, but the Warriors need to figure it out, and fast. The final stretch of the season is going to test the heart and soul of this team. There's no more time for excuses, no more waiting around for things to get better on their own. The Warriors have to come together, find a way to play as a team, and do whatever it takes to make sure they don't fall into the play-in tournament. The pressure is on, but the Warriors have been in tough situations before and come out on top. It's just a matter of whether or not they can rise to the occasion once again. With Curry coming back soon, there's still hope. But it's up to the entire team to ensure they're ready to capitalize on that opportunity. There's a real possibility here that the Warriors could turn things around. The next few games are pivotal, and if they can manage to string together some wins, they might just secure a decent spot in the standings. It's going to take more than just individual performances. It's going to take a collective effort from everyone on the roster. The Warriors know what it takes to succeed. They've done it before, but this time they need to be focused, determined, and ready to battle. No more easy losses, no more slipping up. They can't afford to lose any more ground. With Curry expected to return soon, the Warriors have a chance to regroup and make a push for the playoffs. But it's not going to be easy. They've got to face tough teams, and they need to come out swinging. If they do, they might just turn this season around and make another deep playoff run. But it starts now. They've got 10 games to get it right, and it's crunch time. No more room for mistakes. Let's see what this team is made of. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In a shocking turn of events, strong rumors have begun to circulate regarding the future of Golden State Warriors star Stephen Curry. Sources suggest that the legendary point guard, widely regarded as the greatest shooter in NBA history, is poised to take an extended break from the game. The whispers are pointing to a hiatus of up to 3 months, during which Curry would seek treatment for depression. If true, this would mark a significant moment in the career of one of the most iconic players in basketball. Curry's absence, however, comes as no surprise given the immense pressure he has faced over the years. Despite his undeniable success for NBA championships, 2 MVP awards, and countless accolades, Curry has never been immune to the mental and emotional toll that comes with being a public figure at the highest level of sport. It's well known that the demands on his time, both on and off the court, can weigh heavily on his personal well-being. As the face of the Warriors and a global ambassador for the game, Curry's mental health has long been a topic of concern among fans and analysts alike. Many have praised his openness about the challenges of balancing elite performance with personal life. And this rumored break is a stark reminder that even the strongest athletes are not immune to their own struggles. His decision to step away, if confirmed, may set a precedent for other players in the league. Should this break come to fruition, the Warriors will undoubtedly feel the impact of his absence. Curry has been the cornerstone of the franchise for over a decade, and his leadership has been instrumental in the team's success. With the current season hanging in the balance, the Warriors may be forced to adjust their strategy and rely on other stars to step up in his absence. For now, fans are left to speculate and hope that Curry will emerge from this difficult period stronger than ever. His potential hiatus serves as a reminder of the importance of mental health in professional sports and could change the narrative around how athletes are supported in their personal battles. As the rumors continue to swirl, all eyes remain on Curry and his future in the game. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.